Hi everybody! It's Sunday and I thought today was Monday. So anyway, in case you're confused also, it's live and it's Sunday. So today I was going to share with you about this new cookie recipe that I'm making, but I can't share with you about this new cookie recipe that I'm making really yet because I'm not done with it. But I'm so excited about it, I'm going to share it with you anyway, even though I don't know how it tastes. Well, the batter's delicious, but I got this cookbook at a used bookstore. Balance that up there so you can see it. So I got this cookbook at my favorite used bookstore in downtown Auburn, California, and I can't tell you what the bookstore's name is, but it's big and it's right across from Tango Frozen Yogurt, which is an important stop when you're going book shopping, to also stop in and get some froyo. So if you live in the area, and obviously not right now because we're stuck at home, but when you can eventually get back out again, there's an awesome used bookstore down in Auburn. There's also a bunch of them up here, but anyway, I got this one in Auburn, but it's actually from Seattle. The cookbook author has a bunch of restaurants. Tom Douglas has a bunch of restaurants in Seattle, and he also has the Dahlia Bakery. And so this cookbook I have been wanting to get for years, since I first went and had stuff from the bakery there, which was like 2014, I think. So I've been wanting this cookbook for 6 years, but it wasn't really that important, so I put it off and put it off, and then I found it in perfectly new condition but at a used price locally, and I had to get it. And so this was right before all of the sheltering in place and social distancing really became prominent and normal. And so my last trip down to Auburn, since I've been stuck at home, since before I got stuck at home, I got this. And so now that I have all sorts of time, well, not really, but anyway, now that I'm making time to make cookies, I decided I was going to be making something from my exciting cookbook. So I am making that old, I wonder if it's backwards how you're seeing it too, probably. Anyway, old-fashioned molasses cookies with fresh ginger. So, yeah, molasses cookies. Although I'm using, hang on, I should have brought this over. Ah! I'm coming back. I'm using sorghum molasses, which is obviously from the sorghum plant instead of from cane sugar molasses. So this is something you can get in parts of the Midwest. And I actually saw a lot of sorghum sugar farms when I was riding through the Oklahoma Panhandle, mostly. And so I tried it there, and it was delicious. It really doesn't taste any different from regular molasses, maybe a little bit, but it's subtle. But anyway, not cane sugar, it's a grain, but they make molasses out of it. So I'm making molasses cookies with a Seattle recipe using my sorghum molasses made in Oklahoma. So there you go. Gary says, hello from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Hello, Gary. So I was going to tell you all about my recipe and how delicious it is, but I haven't tasted it yet. So I've just been busy all day, homework again, so nothing really to to talk about, really, but I've been just on a roll with getting stuff done ahead. I'm now working 3 weeks ahead in one of my classes, and I think 2 weeks ahead in the other class, but yeah, so I've been busy. So the other thing that was big today was my podcast now has a new episode out. Have Horse Will Travel. You can get it on my website. You can get it. You can get a link on my Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter, and you can also just look it up if you already stream music or podcasts from somewhere like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, iTunes. If you stream iHeartRadio, that's a free app or website, and you can get it on there. Or you can just go to my website, and there's a link for all sorts of places you can get it for free. So episode 5 is out. Hang on, I got a new message. Debbie says, hi from South Dakota. Hi, Debbie. Sun is finally shining. Yay, it's raining here. So enjoy your sunshine. I'm hoping to get some soon. Yay, sun is a good thing. So if you have nice weather, get outside and take a walk. I didn't get a walk today, it was raining. So, where was I? Oh, the podcast. So today's episode on the podcast is called Trailblazers, and it is all about the various people who I learned about when I was preparing to do my ride. I was researching previous people who had been doing the ride, and not this ride, but doing long distance horseback riding of some kind that was similar to my ride. And so anything from the Oregon Trail all the way up to Unbranded, which was done sometime in the last 5 years, I think, 10 years. Anyway, it was pretty recent. So let's see. Oh, Pam says, hi from New Hampshire. Hello. So yes, the whole podcast episode is interesting historical stuff and less historic, more modern stuff related to other people who have traveled by horse, because yes, I am not the only crazy person to think that traveling around large distances for extended periods of time is a great idea. So if you would like to know what other kinds of crazy people thought that horse travel was a great idea, then you should listen to the podcast. And if you don't want to know about just how crazy some people are, then don't listen to the podcast. But I think it's a good one, so I hope you check it out. So the big thing I was planning on talking, well, it's not big, but the main thing I was talking about, my goodness, I've been on the phone for class assignments for hours, and my brain is just, so I can't speak anymore. The main thing that I was going to talk about today is games. So I'm wearing my sleuthing hat, and with pretty much a lot of people, if not in every state, most states at this point have some sort of social distancing, shelter in place recommendations or rules. A lot of people are stuck at home right now, and so even if you're not stuck at home and you just want something fun to do, I was interested to find out what everybody is doing for games, like either in your home with whoever you live with, if you are playing card games or board games or puzzles or just games, solitary games like solitary card games or crosswords or whatever. What are you doing to stay entertained? Or do you have any recommendations for how to play games with people who you don't live with? So, what are you doing for that? Anybody who'd like to chime in, share your suggestions. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing. So my family really enjoys games, generally. We haven't played any board games recently, but we have a whole closet full and used to play a lot of board games. Right now, though, we're working on a jigsaw puzzle and started that last night. Probably spent almost 3 hours straight just sitting there working on it last night, because once I sit down in front of a jigsaw puzzle, I have to put it together. So kept going until I was too tired to continue, and made a little bit of a dent in it. And my parents are also working on it with me. It's a really weird puzzle. I'll show you when it's all done, but it's instead of being a standard square or rectangle, the shape of the puzzle is a horse. And so the edge pieces are all curved and weird because it's, you know, it's got the legs and the head and the tail, and so it's just weird shaped. And inside of the horse, there's a picture that would look more like a normal puzzle that is a picture of horses running through a river, and the background is supposed to be Sedona with the pretty buttes and mesas. So it's really difficult. Like, we do a lot of puzzles and we've put together some pretty crazy ones, and this one I was like, oh yeah, this one's not going to be so bad. The hard ones are where there's a lot of just the same, all the pieces look the same, and so it's hard to know, like, does it go here or does it go over there, because they all look the same. But this one, it's got a lot of variety, so I didn't think it was going to be so hard, but man, this is a complicated puzzle. So we're working on that. The craziest jigsaw we ever did, I don't think we finished it. I want to say that we gave up, which is rare. Maybe we just all felt like giving up. I don't remember. I was little. I was like, I don't know, 12 maybe ish. And we got this jigsaw that was Where's Waldo? And it was the Where's Waldo, if you're familiar with the books, it was the Where's Waldo from, I don't remember all the names of the books, but one of the later ones, and the last page is Waldo in a crowd of, what do you call them? Impersonators. And so it was just a whole bunch of little tiny people who looked like Waldo, but like they were different body types, or men or women. Some were missing the glasses, some were missing the hat, whatever. They all looked a little different. They were definitely a whole different population of people, but they were all dressed like Waldo, and they were all crowded together, and then Waldo was in there somewhere. And trying to put that puzzle together was just, it was big and it had little pieces, and it was just, oh my gosh, it was childhood trauma. And so anyway, I like doing puzzles. Today I also did half of a crossword. The crosswords are all claimed by my mom, and so I'm not supposed to do them, but sometimes I steal her crossword. And so today I did half her crossword, and then I had other stuff I needed to do, so I so kindly left the rest of it for her and she finished it. But she also claims the Sudokus, and she can have them. because I do not do Sudoku. She's tried teaching me several times how to do it, and I could do it if I really was that bored. Yeah, I could, but I'm not that bored. I have enough other things to do. I'd rather knit. So, she gets the Sudoku all to herself. I also like reading mysteries, so, I mean, probably obvious because I have a Sherlock hat on. But, you know, really, would anyone own a Deerstalker if they weren't a Sherlock Holmes fan? Probably not. But I've got my stack of books to read while I'm at home too, and obviously some of them are mysteries. So that's another thing. If you'd like to drop me any comments and you have any good book recommendations, sticking with today's theme of mysteries and games, or not, whatever. Also at one of the used bookstores that I went to, I found I forget which one it was, it's on my bookshelf over there, an Agatha Christie that's a French translation. And I minored in French in college, and so I was fairly fluent. It's rusty now, but I found this book, and I like reading in French to keep it somewhat fresh in my mind. It's a more fun way to review, so I picked that up. So that's on my reading list, one of the Agatha Christie's in French. I've read pretty much every Agatha Christie that I could get my hands on. She wrote so much. I wouldn't swear that I've read all of them, but certainly a large fraction of them. I've read all the Miss Marples and quite a lot of the Poirots. So anyway, I like books. Yeah, so nobody is commenting. Do none of you play games at home? I don't know. So the question for anyone who's joined in later is, what kind of games are you enjoying at home, either by yourself or with people that you live with, or digitally? And I don't really mean video games like multiplayer whatever, but if you're really into that, whatever, drop a comment. Not my thing, but that doesn't mean it can't be yours. Another thing that I just learned about, but I haven't had a chance to try yet, is called House Party. It's an app that is available on Android and Apple, and it's, let me see if I can get it up on the screen here to show you. No, that's not really gonna work. But anyway, it's that little, it looks like a hand waving down there. That one. It's called House Party, and you can play games with your friends on the app. And it's like, well, I haven't tried it yet, so I'm not really sure, but not like your standard video games. It's more like card games and dice games and maybe board games. I'm not really sure because I haven't tried it, but sounds like a fun thing that I'm gonna try to find someone to play with soon. And so that's something new that I just learned about that you might want to check out. Although I'm not going to say if it's any good, because I don't know, but I've heard good things. So, other than that, I got nothing. And still no comments. So what are you guys doing at home? Nothing? Just scrolling Facebook all day? I'm kind of doing a lot of that too. I catch myself. I'll on, I'll just pick it up to see if I've got any messages, and the next thing you know, it's 20 minutes later. And I'm like, oops, I did not mean to spend that long scrolling Facebook, but there's so much funny stuff on there right now that I just have to scroll through it. And right now people are posting a lot of happy pictures, which I like. So landscapes and, you know, pictures from wherever they took a walk for the day or rode their horse or whatever. So I don't really have anything else to say. So if no one has any comments for me right now, I'm gonna sign off for the day. So if you're watching this later, you can still comment, and I would still love to see your comments. So, you know, that's fine. And I will be back tomorrow, Monday, at 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern Time. So come back again, and I'll have the cookies done by then, and who knows what other sort of things. I don't actually know what I'm doing tomorrow anyway, so it'll be a surprise for both of us. So see you tomorrow.